Hello and welcome here to Exploring with Devilish. I am Devilish. Um, now, I'm going to say that as what you're seeing is some of the screen captures that I've done here and the images that you're seeing are of what is known as Mount Pleasant Cemetery in Toronto. This cemetery has a vast history. It's a gem that's overlooked as part of Toronto itself. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. I was trying to go to it earlier this month of October and wasn't able to because it downpoured that day that I wanted to go. And since then, I kind of been, busy in real life, kind of getting back to actually working after being off for so long due to the COVID shutdowns and everything with the pandemic, if you want to say that, whatever. But to each their own in that thing, and I'm not going through a full real life things for me, but just so people know that that has gone on. And if you hear other voices in the background, I'm sorry about that. But I'm doing this in comfort of my home. I do plan to go here one day again. Hopefully, there'll be others that come with me and that we can explore this. At the same time, I'm kind of making a Exploring with Devilish abandoned paranormal group GTA Mississauga area, so Toronto and Mississauga mostly, group that people want to get together, help out, do things, go exploring together for events. If you don't want to go, you don't have to go. If you want to give your bit of information as the group of us that do go forward, that's great. All I ask is that you give respect to anybody who joins this group, anybody who's going to come on air here with me if we do something. Those who go exploring to be on camera or not, and we'll respect each individual. So there'll be, no belittling anybody, no attacking anybody, and hopefully, we all respect that and do that because we all got enough drama and other stupidity in our life. We don't need more. Now, as you're seeing some of these images that are here, I'm going to talk a little bit, give you a little bit of history and a couple other things. Also, at the same time, I'm going to give you a little heartfelt thing that most of these images that you're seeing is in the older part of Mount Pleasant Cemetery, Toronto. And why I say that is because there is other Mount Pleasant cemeteries out there that are not in Toronto. They're in other parts of Ontario, which is the province in which Toronto is in. And that province is one of several provinces within the country of Canada, in case you're watching from another country. Okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly each picture what there is, but this is fall time that you're seeing, and that's one of the most favorite times that a lot of people like to walk through here because, there is all sorts of different trees and landscaping that's within the old part of the cemetery. Now, for a first walk for some people through the cemetery, you are going to focus on gravestones, both for their design and the glimpse into Toronto's past. Among the notable names for you to recognize are William Lyon Mackenzie King, former Prime Minister of Canada, Timothy Eaton, who is the founder of Eaton's Department Stores, and Sir Frederick Banting and Charles Best, who co-discovered of insulin. You'll notice there were many families that you're not going to be familiar with. Depends on whether or not you lived or not within Toronto and identified with what has happened through that with Canada. In 1973, Toronto General Burying Grounds Trust purchased 200 acres for a new city cemetery and assigned the layout to landscape architect. Sorry, excuse me here for my speaking. I don't know why I'm this. Henry Engelhart, who envisioned a park-like setting. Okay, The cemetery was so different from other burial grounds and so beautiful that an entire city sovereign guidebook told tourists that no visit to Toronto will be complete without a visit to Mount Pleasant Cemetery, basically stating in this guidebook. Okay. There's more things to say in there. Not only did Henry Engelhart want the cemetery to be a park, he wanted it to be an arboretum. He would be pleased to know that Mount Pleasant is now considered to have one of the finest tree collections in North America. There are hundreds of trees, both native and introduced, of every shape and size. Okay, so that's what I was saying there. Looking at the foliage in spring and summer, uh, green, and in the fall, just looking at trees that are on average 130 years old, oaks, maple, pine, um, and the trees themselves, just like all the headstones and markers, they all have a story amongst themselves. Um, I'm going to give you a little bit extra tidbits, a little bit old, other history as well as we're sitting here. But in 2003, uh, my son passed away to stage 4 neuroblastoma cancer. He was 7 years old when we buried him. He had his birthday on January 21st. He passed away on February 15th at 4:20 a.m. So Valentine's Day has been a little bit hectic for me, and I have never really kind of let it get back to something natural for me. But nonetheless, I wanted to go here. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of journey walkthrough, if you will, and so bear with me as I read some of the things. And some of them I might be repeating a little bit, but the Mount Pleasant Cemetery is more than just a series of idyllic footpaths winding through a sea of tombstones. It's a journey through Toronto's past, stretching 205 acres in the heart of the city. Well, it's not directly right in the heart of the city, it is uptown. So basically, the heart of the city would be Yonge and Bloor Street. Okay? Pretty much everything south of Bloor is downtown Toronto. Everything north of Bloor is considered uptown. So Yonge and Bloor would be the heart of the city. This isn't anywhere near it. And this is still further north than that. Just to give for some people a general idea. A designated National Historic Site of Canada, this old burial ground is all at once a paradise of historical architecture, uh, foragers' fantasy, ideal trail for runners and cyclists and pedestrians, and the resting place for a majority of the country's most notable figures. Depending which way you come in to the cemetery, also that you notice that I did show you one entrance, one gate. Depends on how you get there. Now, for those of you who are within the GTA or you're coming in by public transit, anyone who's passed through Davisville Station on the TTC's subway line, Young Line, has likely noticed the sprawling lands of this early 19th century cemetery whizzing by. So as you come out of the underground tunnels and you're starting to go into the Davisville Station, which is an outside subway station, you'll notice that as you're traveling north to your right, looking east, you will see this before you pull into the station, and you can no longer see it. Plus, also all the new buildings that are all been put up. But the brief view seen from the train window is only a tiny portion of this massive cemetery, which runs from Yonge Street to Bay Avenue between Davisville to just north of St. Clair. Okay, Mount Pleasant Road, which was built and named after the cemetery, not the other way around, runs through the middle of the graveyard, splitting it in half. Yes, that is true. Okay, and I'm going to say here that you watch here and you see that there is particular people for the cemetery is the burial ground for countless war veterans, politicians, and significant figures in Toronto's history. Okay, so you'll see one of the statues there in it, and if you can read the name, hey, then you can figure out who he is. It's easy to access Mount Pleasant Cemetery. Just find the entrance along Yonge or make it a pit stop visit on your hike through the city's central 9 kilometer, you know, Beltline Trail. Okay. It originally opened in 1876 on former farmland at the time when vacancies at the necropolis, depending which way you want to say it, were quickly diminishing. The Mount Pleasant Cemetery became the first burial ground for the everyday citizen of Toronto back when it was Muddy York. Okay. Um, there's different mausoleum styles are more traditional on the western side, which is the older part closer to the Yonge Street. So between Mount Pleasant Road and Yonge Street is the old section. That's the west side. Today, a journey from the cemetery's oldest sections near Yonge Street, heading east, is a walk through Toronto's predominantly Anglo-Saxon colonial past into the multicultural society of more recent years. Okay, the earliest of all of 180,000 graves here are located on the western portion of the cemetery, which is divided into plots, though none are older than the remains of Potter's Fields, the first non-denominational graveyard in the city. So Potter Fields is the oldest overall. Okay. Now, you will see one of the pictures there. You'll see a mausoleum that has pillars, and you'll see two green lions sitting on the outside. That mausoleum itself is to Timothy Eaton, the Eaton's family, a mausoleum. Okay. The most popular memorials are those whose names Torontonians will easily recognize. The Eaton's family mausoleum on plot 2 is the majestic column stone structure of Timothy Eaton, who died of pneumonia in 1907. Okay. Um, the other is the Massey Mausoleum, a beautiful Romanesque building with a below-grade crypt, which is also designated a historic building in 2000. Today, Hart Massey's name lives on through a number of Toronto institutions, the biggest one being that of Massey Hall, which is a venue, an event venue where a lot of musicians and some other theatrical acts do happen, but more musicians play at Massey Hall than anything. And I will say one of my notable ones that I to Massey Hall for what I got to go to was the Christmas event for when the full band was together of the Bare Naked Ladies. Okay. So you look at different other foliage. There's one there. I'm not sure if I will know it right offhand. There's one where it looks like it's hidden with trees overgrowth, and you'll notice that there is one of the tree that's in red foliage because of the fall, covering over this little mausoleum. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that is Northrop Gooderham uh, Mausoleum, if I remember correctly, but I'm not too sure. And that's from I may know. I think that's in around plot ST, somewhere around there, if I remember correctly. But it was built into a rolling hill. Okay, is the joint resting place of two families whose names can best be recognized from the Northrop Lyam Medicine Company and the Gotterham and Warts of the Distillery District in downtown Toronto. The humble tombstone of Edmund Burke is one of Toronto's defining architects is less obvious and requires more effort when searching in the area of plot S. So that's why I said the one before about Northrop and Gooderham, that they are either plot T or plot S. I'm not sure. They're close to that same area, but for Burke, Edmund Burke, you have to really look around for his because it's not really there. You'll see there in the pictures. There's one there of Burke's headstone, so that way we know it. It is a simple stone. It's not, anything. Um, it changed the landscape of Toronto by building the Prince Edward Viaduct. Okay, the list of notable figures go on, from politicians like William Lyon Mackenzie, King, um, Egerton Ryerson, to musician Glenn Gould, to Canadian Tire founder Alfred J. Biles. Okay, um, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, ranging from more rugged headstones to larger Victorian and Renaissance style monuments for entire families. You can easily spend weeks exploring the eerie beauty of the graves here. Okay, and it's true, you can. Okay, despite the abundance of stone and scripture, the natural wonders here can, at times, outshine the architect of Mount Pleasant itself. And it's an astonishing number of tree species that range in the hundreds. Um, and what has grown there because of the climate? From weeping willows to white elms, towering Carolina polars, or poplars, I should say, ginkgo trees, various maples. Um, it makes the graveyard one of the most beautiful places to see, especially for fall foliage. So people walking through it, and you'll see one of the pictures that that I'm showing you, that there is a group of people that are walking along some of the paths. That is one roadway that actually you can drive in, with your car through the gates into this area and stop, pull to the side, not too much onto the grass, because you can see that there are plots that are close to the edgeway of the walkways. Okay. Um, there's perennial shrubs like daylilies, magnolia blooms, peonies, rhododendrons. You know, depending on what you know of plants, I have a little bit of history because of it, because of places where I have worked that I got to learn, about different types of plants and trees. Now I don't remember them all. There's some that I walk through and I'll see it and I go, oh my god, that's like I know what that is, but the name's not coming to me. Now in plot O at the south end of the cemetery, there's a big, huge crematorium and mausoleum. Okay, it was built back in about 1920. It's a Georgian building. Features crypts of Italian marble and bronze inside, with the crematorium being a newer addition back in 1972ish, I believe. I could be wrong with that. I'm not sure, because I've read history. There is one picture where it shows you where it's dark, seems a lot of brown, but that could be the bronze that you're seeing inside the mausoleum. Okay, and there's like well over 100 crypts in there. Okay, and you'll see one image where I did show you the gate, and I'm not sure who the statue is right offhand, but I believe this is coming from the Mount Pleasant Road side going to the west side. There is a statue that's right there, and I forget whose that is, but it's just showing, depending which way the architect coming in. I did also show you the in the eastern portion, which was the newer portion, and the side in which my son was buried in. It's a much faster walk with significantly fewer historical figures. Those spots, like the Garden of Remembrance, with its pool of reflection, a glass conservatory, and a forest of mature trees where ashes of the dead are buried, or they're put in kind of a mausoleum idea. Okay, now you'll see that where it has a centerpiece that looks like a little fountain in the middle, a rounded fountain, um, and there's a wall that's kind of in the background for a bunch of people that are mentioned. To the right hand side, you can just see a glass mausoleum kind of peeking out there. On the other side of that is where the children's section of one of two, in which we're there. And one of the other pictures that you see there is of the last name Chapman. Um, I don't have history information on that last name because when you walk through there, it doesn't matter which part of the cemetery, where you're in the west or the east side, in the older or in the newer sections. Okay, Chapman's all over the place. There are a few other names that are all over the place. This is just to give you a little bit of history about this. I thought maybe you guys would like this. I would love to come on here and do some live talks about different places, about different things, and have other people come in and talk about it. Those of you who live in around the GTA, Toronto, Mississauga, you know, the cemetery I went to, okay, the Lithuanian cemetery, that's in Mississauga. I rode my bike down there from my house to that place. Yes, I live in Mississauga. I'm not going to deny that. But, the cemeteries are the things that I'm doing right now. Yes, a lot of people, when exploring abandoned, paranormal, ghost hunting, whatever, a lot of people start with cemeteries. I just kind of did because it was closest, what was easiest, and I went on my own. I'd love to have a group and to create a group of abandoned explorers, paranormal explorers group, people that want to go and do this, whatever gadgets that you have to detect spirits uh, or any type of entity, hey, great. A lot of the stuff I will do during the day. And part of the reason why doing it during the day is one, you can see everything. So there's nothing that's going to be surprising you whatsoever. Um, well, yeah, there'll be some surprises, but um, you'll be able to see your surroundings a lot easier, so you won't, if there's a hole or anything, that you're not going to miss it because it's too dark or you can't see because you don't have enough light. Plus, only that, but for those few that want to go and do it at night, at least during the day, you can go, you can explore it and see, what you're getting into before you decide to go at night. Is it a sketchy area? Um, how safe is the area, the building, etc., before you enter it at night? Maybe it's too decayed. Maybe there's too many holes. Maybe there's too many nails. Maybe there's too many this. Maybe there's homeless people that are in there, squatting, because not all of them are friendly. Some of them will fight and say that you're entering in their territory, that this is their space, and you have to respect that. Okay. Um, as time goes on, I may, be carrying a bigger bag with me. I may have some, some type of snacks and some bottled water maybe to take with me in case, I run into some people like that and say, here, give it to them. Because heck, I've gotten handouts from time to time. I'm not going to say that I haven't. And, to give back what I've gotten, is a great thing. I personally, I don't drive. I don't have a vehicle. I can't drive a vehicle because I don't have a license. But that's why the group, hopefully that some people be willing to help bring some people to different locations, whether we're going on a tour and we paid for it, or people have been able to talk to others where they say, okay, it closes at 6 to 8 p.m. and that's it. Like here, Mount Pleasant Cemetery, I would love to be able to go after hours and exploring through. I'm sure people walk through anyways. Um, but to have proper permission to, do this would be great, just to find out, even if they wanted to come along. Like, there's some places where they'll let you do investigation or explore, but they want to come on and make sure that you're not damaging, and that's the biggest thing. Will not take anything away from the place. Will not damage it. I don't believe in it. I do not believe in like some places where we'll go to. I would not tell people where we went. I wouldn't even give them a general idea of the area. I would just say somewhere in Ontario, if that's the case. Just so that way, other people don't come in after us and destroy it, and then they try to blame us for it and ruin it. Because there's a lot of people that have done that lately. They've vandalized places, destroyed them, and it makes it difficult for people like us who want to do this legitimately, and just to document, just to say I experienced that, I've been there, I've done that. So those are the type of things that I would like to do moving forward. You've seen a couple things I've done. I even showed you a train trip that I did. To go get my daughter. These are things that that I'm going to do here with Exploring with Devilish on this channel. Okay. And those who want to join in for this, hey, you're more than welcome. I just say leave the negativity, the drama away. If it starts, whoever it is that is kind of going up, I'm just going to make it so that way you can't come back to this channel. And if I have to keep kicking you off, then I will do it. I don't want to go there what it is, but that's what I wanted to do. And I know a month ago I was said that I was going to go to Mount Pleasant Cemetery, and I haven't been able to. But this is what this is, and I hope that some of you who do live in the GTA and Mississauga, that you're interested in wanting to join up. I do have a Facebook group that I kind of created. Now I've only invited one other person to be administrative type moderator, just to watch the drama negativity. She's not going to do anything else. She may comment here and there, but she probably won't come out on the Explorers or anything with us. She's just more or less to be there on the Facebook group just to watch things, and if things get too far, then she will deal with it accordingly. And she knows what she's looking for and what to do, and she does have a background of law. So she does work with a law firm. She's not she's not a lawyer. She does research and stuff for them, and prepares documents. I forget what the hell the proper name is. If anybody knows, by all means, you can put it in comments down below. So as you come in here, if you're brand new, you want to interested, you want to see what's going on, hey, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, because that means a lot to me. That tells me that you like the content, what's going on. If any suggestions, any comments you want to join, leave it down in the comments down below, folks. And hopefully soon I'll be exploring something new. Until then, stay tuned, folks, and hey, let me know also if there's something within the GTA that you want me to try to explore, to go in. I mean, there's one I want to do, and I want to do it as a group. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to have to pay for it. I want to do Casa Loma. I really want to do Casa Loma, an investigation explore there with nobody else around. Maybe get some other old history from the people who run it and take care of the place, and see what we get. I would love to do that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be around Halloween or anything else, or any other holiday. Just a time when we can do it, and that they will allow us. And most of my free time is going to be weekends. A Friday night's fine. All day Saturday. During the day Sunday, Saturday night going into Sunday. Things like that. But with that said, always take care, and happy exploring. This is Devilish signing out for Exploring with Devilish.